is happening again.
Mitt Romney is in the middle of a pretty stunning turnaround.
Mitt Romney almost certainly will. His third bid for the White House.
Mitt Romney talking to donors.
I never thought he could win in 2012. I think this may be a sign.
Is Mitt Romney seriously running for president? It started heating up last week when he told a group of donors, quote, "I want to be president." But today we're getting a look behind the curtain and more signs of action. The Washington Post says Romney is moving to reassemble his campaign team for a, quote, almost certain 2016 bid. He's talked to everyone from his old running mate Paul Ryan to his old opponent Newt Gingrich. Politico says he expects to make a decision within weeks, not months. But why is this all happening now? What might have changed? Why did he say no so many times? And all of these hints could really amount to nothing. There could be other factors at play. But after 2012, is there a place for Romney in today's Republican Party? Joining me now, Democratic strategist Angela Rye and Republican strategist Hogan Gidley. Thank you both for being here tonight.
Thank you, Rev.
Thank you, Rev.
Hogan, you've worked for lots of Republicans, from Mike Huckabee to Rick Santorum. What is going on with Romney?
Honestly, Rev, I have no idea. I think he looks across the way and sees Jeb Bush making some big moves. He knows they're going to mix and match some donors and have some overlap there. So he's looking to stem the tide a little bit. That's all. I don't know where he goes should he decide to run this time. I don't know what state he would win. He's never won Iowa. He outspent Mike Huckabee 20-1 and lost by 9 points. He outspent Rick Santorum 10-1 and lost there as well. He won New Hampshire, of course, as we all know, but it's his home state, basically. So he's never done well here in South Carolina, my home state, so I don't know where he's going to go from there if he goes 0-3 in the first 3 states.
You're talking, Hogan, like you don't believe he can win. Do you think he believes he can win?
I'm not sure if he believes that, and I don't speak for Mitt Romney, obviously, but look, the party is not just about the religious right versus the establishment anymore. There's a Tea Party faction, there's a Libertarian wing, there's a War Hawk wing, there's an Israel wing, and each of these candidates own separate space in those particular sandboxes. The question becomes which one of these candidates can pull from the other sandboxes to get enough votes to win the nomination. I don't know where Mitt Romney's votes are going to come from, especially if Chris Christie and Jeb Bush are in the race. I just don't see it, regardless of whether or not Mitt Romney says and does, like he promised, to run right of Jeb Bush. I just don't know where his votes come from.
Angela, Romney is still a player in the party. NBC News just learned he'll speak this week at the RNC meeting. What does that say about the state of the GOP to you?
It says that they have a lot of gathering to do. I think Hogan just went into great detail about all the different sandboxes and people that he would have to galvanize onto his team. If he's saying that he's going to run to the right of Jeb Bush, that means he's going to try to out conservative people like they typically do in a Republican primary, and he's got a lot of proving to do. A lot of people still don't believe him, whether they were Republican, Independent, or Democrats, because, again, as we know, in the 2012 election, he lost by more than 6 million votes. So he's got a lot of proving to do, not only within his own party, but also to the country who don't believe him. And it's not just the 47% he wrote off.
Now, you know, Hogan, another interesting aspect of this potential campaign is that Romney wants to make tackling poverty one of the 3 pillars of his campaign. That would be a real departure from what he said in 2012.
Right.
Who can these moments?
I'm not concerned about the very poor. We have a safety net there. If it needs a repair, I'll fix it.
All right, there are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they're victims, who believe that government has a responsibility to care for them, who believe that they're entitled to health care, to food, to housing, to you name it.
I mean, is this the making of a new message for Romney? Or did these kinds of statements leave a bad taste in his mouth? I mean, how does he convince people, Hogan, that he is a different man than what he was saying?
Well, it's going to be very difficult, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know where his votes come from. I mean, he needs to talk about poverty. The Republican Party needs to talk about poverty. But I'm not sure that the person with Romney's record is the very person to be talking about poverty. That's not the standard bearer our party necessarily needs at this moment. I'm not saying he's not going to be formidable. He'll have money. He's got name ID. He has a huge organization. But we've seen this play out. He finished third in 2008 in the primary. He actually won the nomination, obviously, 2012. He lost badly to Barack Obama. Remember, when he won the nomination, up to 4 to 6 million, some estimates show, of evangelicals stayed home and didn't go vote for Romney because they weren't energized by the man. He's a great guy, nice man, great family. It's just really tough for someone like Romney to galvanize a nation coming off of the last election where he had so many missteps and so much trouble.
Now, Angela, I want to play you a clip from the 2014 Netflix documentary on Romney. I want you to listen carefully to this.
And I have looked, by the way, at what happens to anybody in this country who loses as the nominee of their party, who loses the general election. They become a loser for life, all right? All right, it's over. And, Mike Dukakis, he can't get a job mowing lawns. We just brutalize whoever loses, all right?
Is this personal to him, Angie? Is this what we're dealing with?
Rev, it absolutely is personal, but I want to draw a connection here that maybe we might have overlooked. I know I certainly did when I read about this Netflix piece. He said that Mike Dukakis cannot even mow lawns, which means he is trivializing that job, which means it is very difficult for someone as elitist as Mitt Romney to connect with people that may not be an entire swath of 47%, but the folks that are considered to be the least of these, and to demean those jobs and those laborers
there's
is
arrogance.
terrible.
There's arrogance in those
that's
statements.
exactly the point, Rev. So even if it is a personal desire to win for him, the fact that those personal politics and that personal ego would trump his ability to connect to those people that matter, that would not only be a part of the base, but they are the constituents as American people, and he would trivialize those jobs as working class Americans. That is a problem that we've now seen. That's exactly right.
A lot of his gaffes came from who he was. It came from him ad-libbing. But I want to go, before I have to leave, Hogan, to something that I have to raise with you. Governor Chris Christie, today he made headlines for his State of the State address in New Jersey. Listen to this.
I vetoed 4 income tax increases passed by this body, and I don't want there to be any mistake about it in case there is. I will veto any more income tax increases that come before me. We need to renew the spirit and the hopes of our state, of our country, and our people. We need a New Jersey renewal, and we need an American renewal.
Now, Christie and Jeb Bush would be the same kind of Republican candidate as Romney. Can all three of them run? Is there enough room for all three to run in the Republican primaries, Hogan?
That's the issue. I just don't know. I mean, everyone tried to be the anti-Romney last time. Now you're going to have Romney people within the establishment wing of the party. Chris Christie will be in South Carolina tomorrow. I look forward to seeing him. But the issue for Chris Christie, as I've long said, it's not his politics or his policies that will ultimately sink his campaign or catapult him to the nomination. It's his personality.
That's right.
Camden, New Jersey is not Camden, South Carolina. And if he yells at somebody down here, it's going to be a completely different reaction than if he yells at somebody up there. That's the issue for Chris Christie. And if he can keep that in check, he's going to be someone to watch out for, and a formidable candidate as well.
Angela Rye and Hogan Gidley, thank you both for watching. Give my regards to Governor Christie tomorrow. Coming up,
thanks.
Why does Mike Huckabee have a big problem with Beyonce? Also, the RNC's new campaign to try and dig up dirt on the Clintons. And why the price tag on this billion-dollar divorce could be going way up. Is all ahead on Conversation Nation.